I heard this story on Shabbos directly from the person that had the dreams and that the occurrence happened to, and it's absolutely wondrous. There was a Sephardic family which lived in Canada, and they had previously, through connections, established a relationship of some sort with the Baba Sali's wife of his later years. The Baba Sali's wife would, when she came there for fundraising, she would come to their house, and sometimes they would have 200 people lined up for brachas. One interesting thing that happened when the wife of the Baba Sali would come, is that she would ask them to buy water bottles because she would hand out water bottles to go along with the bracha. Similar to things like when the Rebbe would give wine to someone, or the Baba Sali, we know, give out Iraq. These were things that were considered special objects, holy objects, if they were given to you from tzaddik or tzaddikus, I guess, which this is actually the first time I heard of a woman doing it. Anyways, so their life continued. They decided to move to the United States. And when they were settling in, they only wanted to be in the United States they only wanted to be in an apartment for a short amount of time, maybe a year. They were renting from someone, and eventually 1 year extended itself, and they were in the apartment much longer than they wanted, and they really wanted to buy a house, but things were difficult financially. It was hard to find the right place for the right price. Very, very hard, extremely hard. It was becoming frustrating on the husband and wife. One day, the husband was walking with a friend, and his friend said to him, "You know that there's a lady here that's making aliyah, and she's trying to sell her house. Maybe, you should consider taking a look at it. I could set you up with an appointment." So he said, "That house that you're talking about, it's probably way out of our price range." And the friend said to him, "Do you want to check it out or not? I'll set you up." He said, "You know what? I'll check it out." So the appointment is set. He's going to go look at this house, and it's in the perfect location, and it is the perfect home. He feels the moment he looks at it. It takes him inside. It's beautifully renovated. The lady is a very nice lady, and it's absolutely perfect. She tells him how much it's going to cost, and his heart drops. He realizes this is just not within the realm of possible. What can he do? It's absolutely beautiful, but it's just not happening. And it seems perfect, but it's just not happening. So he comes home and he actually tells his wife about it. And his wife says, "I want to see it. I want to see it." He says, "It's impossible. She told me the asking price. We can't do it. To go and see it, it's only going to be something that's going to hurt you and make you upset. No, let's not go. Let's not. No, no, no. I want to see it. I want to see it. He said, "It's perfect. I want to see it. Let's just go look. Let's just go look." Okay, fine. He says, "Fine. If you really want to look, you have to promise me that you're not going to be, disappointed about it." So goes together with his wife. They take a look at it again. And his wife walks out and says, "It's the perfect place. We need to be able to live there." And he says, "I told you that it was going to hurt because there's no way we can buy it." And, their time is becoming less and less and less to be able to find a place to live once they leave this apartment. And it's between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. What happens next is the man, the Sephardic Yid, falls asleep. And in his dream, he's standing in his shul. And if I remember what he said, I think he said he was putting on tefillin. And he turns around and he sees at the back of the shul the Baba Sali. So he goes to the Baba Sali and he says, "Baba Sali, is there anything that I can do for you? I didn't know that you were coming here." And the Baba Sali looks at him. And Baba Sali says to him, "There's nothing that you can do for me. I've come here to give you a bracha, to give you a blessing." So the man says to him, "Wow," or looks at him and is just like in awe. And he tells me, he was telling me this story, that it was as if he said it was more real than the real world. And he felt even in the dream like he was, like literally, the Baba Sali was visiting him. Really, 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 the Baba Sali was visiting him. And he said that the Baba Sali then continued to give him a bracha. And the bracha was that he should have success in everything, and something to the effect of, there should be no stress and everything should work out perfectly, etc. And he said that he's never felt such feelings as in this dream when he was being given this bracha. And he woke up. And when he woke up, he felt as though there was a bracha coming and that this was a real bracha from the Baba Sali. And it was just absolutely exhilarating. He never experienced such a dream like this before. So he told his wife about it, and his wife and him were both, wondering and anticipating and waiting. What could possibly be the bracha? So he ends up needing to go on a business trip for a couple of weeks, all the way until Sukkot. And the business trip was, just another business trip, this country, that country, this country, that country, trying to sell wares. And he came back to America Sukkot time. It was very, very crazy trip, but he was able to set it up and whatever, he comes back Sukkot time. And he gets a phone call from the house owner. And the house owner says to him, tell me again, what is it that you can do? He says to her, I told you what I can do. And I can't do what you're asking. It's out of my price range. And she says, no, 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 really, what could you do? And he says, I told you, because he had already put in an offer that was rejected. And she said, you know what? Can you and your wife come to my house for a meeting with me and my husband? I said, yeah, sure. So they come to their house and sitting down, the lady says, again, like, what can you do? He says, again, I told you that I only have, a certain amount of funds and your house is just not in my price range. And she said, and then all of a sudden, the house owner's husband says, no, 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 tell them what's really going on. She says, okay, so it happens to be that I was given a offer of exactly the asking value. However, the person that was asking from me had tattoos all over his body, and he really doesn't represent what I was trying to build this house with a foundation of Torah and mitzvahs and goodness. He really represents the opposite of that. And I've renovated the house. I've made the house beautiful, but the whole purpose of it was to build within it a wonderful Jewish home. And now I'm making Aliyah, and I'm moving to Israel, and I can't imagine all the work that I put in this now going to someone that represents something very different than our family and Jewish values. So I want to know, what can you do? The father of my student, the man says back, the potential buyer says back, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't afford this place. It's not possible. You should sell it to that person. And then the father of the husband of the house owner, the other house owner says, well, no, 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 tell him why you really called him here. So she said, okay, fine. So if that didn't work, fine. This is what happened. This is what really happened. This is why she really called them. She said, last night I had a dream. And in my dream, at the top of the steps was the Baba Sali. And the Baba Sali was welcoming you into your new home. And your new home is this home, she said. And I understood with complete clarity when the Baba Sali was up there at the top of the steps welcoming you guys into our home, that he was giving me a clear message that I'm supposed to do whatever I can to give you this home. So you tell me what you can do and we'll make it work, she said. When the family originally from Canada heard this, and especially the man who had already had a dream of a bracha from the Baba Sali just a couple of weeks earlier, heard this, they both started to break down crying. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that this bracha was coming true. And the homeowner, the lady, said to them, and you see, I'm not Sephardi. I have no connection to the Baba Sali whatsoever. So the fact that he came into my dream just makes it even more impactful, even more real, she said. She obviously knew that they were a Sephardic family. And she said, so let's just work it out. What you can do, the most you can do, let's do it. So they worked out a deal, and this family ended up moving into this house that they felt was perfect, even though it seemed like it was absolutely out of their price range.